We are on page 1. We're the number 4 rated app in the store. The task could stay open for a while, and it might be partially complete. But how do you know what you've done? You don't. Checklist Pro frees you from that. It becomes intra-task transparency. The speed with which AI is taking over business and being involved in the workflow is amazing. Where I see us going is using our checklist, but having the AI actually complete some of the items on the checklist or verify what some of the responses are. I don't want to give it away too much just yet, but I think we have something that's going to be pretty hot, and it's going to definitely involve AI. I'm in love with the checklist because it's literally such a platform tool. It's a utility. I mean, it's there for people to use. That's why I love it when our customers, when they tell me about some of the ways that they're using it, I'm like, gosh, that's beautiful. I love hearing these stories.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast. This is the Scale Signals podcast. My name is Neil Fishler from the CRO Solution, and today we'll be speaking with Ty Roach, founder and CEO of Checklist Pro. Welcome, Ty. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Neil. Good to be with you.
That's great. So, Ty, it was really great connecting with you the other day, and we talked about it a little bit, but I'd love to have you share it with listeners again, a little bit about your journey from computer science grad at University of Maryland, near and dear to my heart, to founder of Tiger LLC, and eventually to creating Checklist Pro.
Yeah, great. Well, you got that right. So it took me a while before I actually broke out on my own because I'm, many years into this. But yeah, I was loved programming, went to the University of Maryland, computer science, did, work, came out of school, did a lot of work, professional services work for different companies. Many years later, I was an architect, the principal developer, doing some government contracting, and this is going back to 2010 or so. So a while, but folks were, I charged me with, moving their on-premise solution into the cloud. And so at the time, ServiceNow, we did an evaluation of ServiceNow and said, this looks really good. So we did it. And I actually just fell in love with the platform and started getting pretty good at it. It was early days back then. We were doing work with government customer using that platform, and that was its own little niche. And after several years in there, I was sort of encouraged by a lot of people that I would meet in the community to say, you should break out and do this on your own. And bottom line is, I eventually did. And I'd never really thought about running a company, being my own, boss, so to speak, because I was, felt very fairly, treated. But it was a great opportunity, and I'm glad I took it. And it ended up, going a place that I didn't necessarily even originally imagine. Like we were going to I was going to just be an independent consultant. And then the next thing you know, I'm hiring people to do work. And then I have always had this notion for I'd like to just build a solution, a software solution, and sell that. And ServiceNow essentially provided that as an opportunity for us. And in 2019, ServiceNow, we became ServiceNow partner in their SaaS program. They're a build partner, as they say. So we put an app in their store, and in 2019, and here we are in 2026. And that's really the identity of the company, because we were doing professional services, we still are, and we have the app side, the SaaS side, but that's really where the company is focused these days. It's all about the app.
That's great. And when we talked about it, I think it's really interesting for people who just have a passion about something that evolves into a business, right?
Yeah.
That it couldn't be more of a natural progression. And you had mentioned to me in the last meeting, I remember that programming was a creative outlet for you.
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to share a little bit about how that really, you said it helps you express yourself. Like, I think that's just really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well, it was. I mean, so yeah, I think people have there's multifacets to everybody, and I like sports. I like to I gravitated towards computer science. I like the problem solving. It let me be creative. I mean, there's things that I like to do in my personal life and then professional life, and the work being a developer was actually, scratching an itch that I had to be creative. I mean, some people can sing, some people can dance, some people play an instrument and all this stuff. And for me, like I always loved the problem solving aspect of programming. And I did that this goes all the way back to college. That's why I chose, my degree back then, because I like to solve the problems on the computer. And it was very enjoyable for me. And then the added bonus is that as you start to do this in a higher scale, what you build, you start to realize, hey, if it's helping an organization or if it's helping a whole, community, you feel there's a sort of sense of fulfillment with that. But yeah, that was a key thing, just doing that. So I was very lucky. I always knew what I wanted to do going into college even. I didn't imagine myself to be the entrepreneur, but when the opportunity presented, I said, with a lot of people kind of giving me that confidence that you should do this. And I realized it was the right time of my life to do it. Did it. And yeah, just never look back. I actually wish I would have started sooner, but it's been great.
Yeah, look, it's really wonderful to hear that people do something that they love and they can earn a living at it. Right?
Yeah.
That's the best of all worlds, which is wonderful. So you've had really impressive organic growth. Top of the App Store now, or right, the ServiceNow App Store.
Yeah.
And so, what do you attribute that early success, word of mouth momentum? I mean, you say you're not a sales guy,
yep.
Right? And you told me that, but didn't matter. You tell me it sold itself. That's okay, but you still have to be known out there. People have to appreciate
it's true.
It, whatever it is.
It is, and it's a challenge. That is the biggest thing, because in the beginning, when in 2019, first of all, had the idea for the app, put it out there. It helped us enter the partner program, and we were one of. I think there were probably at the time we joined a couple hundred apps in the store, couple hundred, probably 150 or so partners that were authorized to build apps in their store. Now I don't know how. There's probably well over 1,000, app vendors that are technically build partners, and 3,000 plus apps. But we built this app. Principally, I'm the major developer of it, an architect, but I saw the need in the platform, wanted to address it. I wanted it to be easier for people with lesser skill to do customizations on ServiceNow platform, because I would see these things all the time as they're building their workflows. Great platform, but there were certain things, their skill level was just a little higher, and I felt like this was happening all the time, minor tweaks. And I like the idea of the checklist to just almost like as a sticky note, like put, you say, hey, I want these other fields, and you put it on the UI that you're looking at. And I didn't want you to have to be a pro coder to have to do that. And then the business rules or behavioral rules around that, I didn't want you to have to be like, a pro coder to do that. That was always the goal. And, that was just kind of fulfilling, because you could see like somebody using your stuff and so it started like that. We were doing, and still are doing work with, professional services work. And so the app kind of followed me around. I would go to a customer, I would have the trust of the customer. You do the work for them. I would share with them, hey, you might want to get this app that we have in the store. We are a partner. That is what makes us the partner. And they looked at it. They said, wow, this is really something. And, so there's the sort of grassroots word of mouth following me around. No real way to grow your business. It just goes to show, because the app all the time was always improving. I always like to say, we got to do another thing. We got to do another thing. It was always very feature oriented. Kind of still am. Like, I just want to build. That's what I like to do. It's my happy place, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's my tendency. The thing is, I think a lot of folks, what I've learned over the years, a lot of times you think, wow, you build something so great, if people are just going to come to it. but it doesn't always work that way. You can have something great and it's really just undiscovered. And then, Neil, honestly, I really feel like we are still, despite our ranking now, we've a bit of arrived a little bit. We are on page 1. We're the number 4 rated app in the store. That does count for something. There's no question. How we got there, it's really amazing because it was so just like word of mouth in the beginning, and even to some extent now. But I think what happened was a couple years back when we started, the feature set was rich. The use cases were spot on for customers, and I was trying to articulate that, through like LinkedIn posts and our blog on our website. So we had some presence there, but that was it. We weren't doing anything else. And then we started, then I, realized and stepped back and said, why is it that when people, they get it if I go there and I work there, but I need to start working with partners that are whose business is to do professional service for ServiceNow, and convince them that this tool is a value add for you, could help you be the X factor for you to win some business with these customers. You already have their trust once you're in, and then it's like a way to clone me, what I had been doing. And that actually was what started to move the needle, really. If I'm just being honest, I mean, it was like, we're leveraging other teams, and there has to be something in it for them, right? So what's in it for them? Well, yeah, they're winning the business. Like, our app is like a little arrow in their quiver, right? It says, hey, this is what sets us apart. We've teamed up with this build partner. It's interesting technology. It very much applies to what your requirements are, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. And I think we should use this. The cost is very low. It's in the store. And it's, what happens, it starts to, once you start to move up the store and you start having a pretty nice customer list, it gets easier, right? It's the hardest is the beginning, but then it just gets easier. You're with more partners. And now we're, 3 different regions around the world. Of course, we're in the US, we're in Europe, we're in Asia Pacific, we're in federal, both international and, domestic here in the States, different vertical markets. It's really a platform tool. And my job, and so, my job is just trying more and more now to just like express what it is that you can do with this tool and why it might be of value to you, and not just to you as the end customer, but you as a partner, because the partners, this is how I see, this is why I think that it's starting to become even more successful, and it's accelerating. It's not just word of mouth by us. The partner sees that, hey, they can solve a customer pain point. They can do it and with, they're not building everything themselves. They're leveraging some technology. It's accelerating their entrance for this customer. It's no code, low code. One configuration works across all the ServiceNow UIs, and it can help them save on their costs. It can help them reduce their risks, their time to develop. So there's a lot of, they're buying into this. This is the message I try to keep repeating over and over. And I'm learning, I'm trying to tweak it as we go to say, what really resonates? What's the stuff that resonates with the partners? What resonates with the end customers? What do they need? So we're still doing that. But, and a long answer to the question, but that's, I think, how we got where we are.
Yeah, well, I sense a little passion here too. Just a little.
Just a little bit. Oh, that's my baby, right? It's my baby.
I get it. I'm a passionate guy myself. You gotta love what you do, believe in what you do, and it comes through and through with you. So that's for sure. Thanks. So Checklist Pro, you excel at embedding structured checklists and workflow standardization and compliance and accountability, right? And you talk about continuing development. So, of course, I have to ask the question in the room, right? How do you see these capabilities evolving, as more organizations adopt AI within their own workflows, right? So you see it both ways, right? They're adopting other workflows. ServiceNow, I'm sure, is adopting workflows with AI. Yep. And your tool has to continue to build in that environment. So maybe you can share a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So interesting you asked this, because it's like, first of all, it is happening in the speed with which AI is taking over business and being involved in the workflow is amazing. We first started using, integrating AI into our product for, as you probably could imagine, just checklist creation. Hey, I need an email troubleshooting checklist, right? And so we integrated with ServiceNow's tool, with a third-party tool, and just simple text to ask the question, and and it came back in the format of a checklist that we support. And so that's an accelerator right there, and it gets you into the AI story. What's been happening even recently, actually just as recent as this week, where it's forward looking. I need my safe harbor clause statement, but where I see us going is actually some of the using our checklist, but having the AI actually complete some of the items on the checklist, or verify what some of the responses are. I'm very, I don't want to give it away too much just yet, but I think we have something that's going to be pretty hot, and it's going to definitely involve AI beyond just the generative creation of the checklist, but actually completion and reviewing some of the contents that people are replying, either people or an agent itself, if it's agentic, is completing the checklist. So the agent might be doing some of the work to complete the checklist, and then looking for the approval for what it did. So that is definitely the direction that we're headed. I think we're in a really good spot. This actually might be, I'm always very optimistic. Like, I'm very I think if we hit this right, this is going to be it, right? This is what's going to really, have this thing go viral. You just never know. But it's hot right now for sure. And I think if we start to showcase some of this stuff with ServiceNow, the platform owner, they could possibly get behind it, and it helps them, helps us, helps their customers. It's a win across the board. That's what I want. I mean, that's always the best for me. It's like,
yeah, of course.
I don't want to just win for me. I want to I really get a lot of satisfaction out of everybody winning.
100%. I mean, that's the only way to go, right?
Yeah.
If you solve your customers' problems, then that satisfies makes your product valuable, right? People use it,
Yeah.
People appreciate it. That's the ultimate in satisfaction for everybody. So yeah, right way to go, Ty. Going back to the AI thing, right? Because AI can do so much, and your tool is a governance tool, right?
Yeah.
So does that make governance even more important? Because now you have this artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
finishing the job or completing certain tasking, like you're talking about it. How does governance play in, and may you make sure that that's taken care of appropriately?
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because that has really been a sweet spot for us, frankly, with the checklist in general. I mean, its very nature is, one where, hey, gather the evidence. Did you do this? And we're in a number of regulated industries with our install base: financial, healthcare, energy. These are highly regulated, critical infrastructure. Okay, and we've been running there for we're bulletproof with this stuff. You don't just go saunter into these things. They put you through the ringer, and so that gives me a lot of confidence and satisfaction to know that it's not easy to get into some of the customers that we have, and we've been running there in production for a while. Now you introduce the AI into the mix. It's happening so fast. Just full disclosure, it's like drinking from the fire hose. It's like, okay, where does it? What's the right move for us here? What makes sense? And something that we just literally are rolling out now. It's not even in the store yet, but it's in the development side, where we're building our checklists to do something simple as use a checklist to do like a quick pop quiz, like cybersecurity pop quiz, and you put it out, use a checklist to do that. And some of the questions, the easy ones are just like, pick this, multiple choice, pick this, or, enter these values, but what about if you give them, like, if part of the test is like a narrative response? Okay. Well, maybe this is where I'm thinking, we're going to use our AI, the AI, to say we have the answer. Of course, we have an answer, a key. This is just coming off the ground. It's literally like in the oven still.
I love it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I am so fired up about this. You have no idea. Like, I was up to, I don't even want to tell you how late I was up last night just working on this, because it's like, this is crazy. This is like, this is how I get fired up about it. And so, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And the AI question came in. It's like, oh, this is easy. I said, here's the checklist. Here's the answers to all the checklists. Have one is sort of like your key, right? It's your answer key. And then as people start to submit this is just a use case for a checklist, right? We're just saying, hey, we're going to use this for people that need to do some pop quiz training, cybersecurity, whatever. Okay. What happens if there's like a narrative response? Like, tell me how you would handle a certain situation paragraph, right? It's a checklist item that's a text box. Well, I haven't done this yet, but I think where we're going to go, and this AI is actually so good at this, where it like infers what the intent is, or the meaning. And I think what we can do is say, here's some narrative. No one's going to get it word for word, right, of what our answer we think the right answer should be. But I'll bet, this is my bet, I'll bet that we can rig up the AI and prompt it such that it says, review this, forget about the punctuation because this isn't an English name, or maybe it would be, but you're this person that's evaluating this response, yada yada yada, with the prompt, and say how and score it. How well did it come to that before you say it's one of those gray zones. It's like you're evaluating a subjective response, and so how well does it match? I am totally excited about the idea of using AI for that. Again, it's into our checklist, and this is kind of a new thing for us. It's funny how when we see our customers, the ways in which they're using our checklist to run their business, it's always like, oh wow, that was a great idea.
Right.
We gotta. So I'm super excited about this. Just the whole, and by the way, you're going to see in the next week or so a video on this, because it's literally hot off the presses. Like, we're going to just showcase exactly this scenario. Pop quiz, cybersecurity. You got people with privileged accounts. Watch a short video. I mean, this is all built into the checklist, right? We just use the checklist to do all this stuff. Run your test. Yeah, it's like, duh, of course. Make a checklist as a test that you can then, hit your organization up, or certain departments at certain times, spot check them. How you doing? And do you need some additional training? Perfect for that. I love the use case. So, and so much of this is like showing, it's like you have a Swiss Army knife. The Checklist Pro is like the Swiss Army knife for the ServiceNow platform. It's just there as a tool to help you do things on the platform. And so when we this is what we do. We have pre-built solutions like this, like our pop quiz thing, that people say, oh my gosh, I never even thought about using it for this scenario. What a great idea. So we just had one. There's a little epiphany, right? So it's unfolding right here on your show for the first time. So anyway,
That's very exciting, Ty.
I'm excited, man. I'm sorry, I'm barely containing myself. I hope I answered your question, but it was, that's how I see the AI factoring in. It's everywhere, but that's our plan. We're all over it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's exciting. It's great. And I love when you can say, you take something and say, oh, I can apply it here. I can apply it there. I could do it this way. I could do it. That just, like, your mind just goes crazy.
I know.
With how many things you can do with it. And so, so I'm thinking about it, and I say, okay, because it's got the structured process, the accountability, the governance, right? How many other critical business functions like revenue operations or sales execution or customer success could you apply this to? It doesn't have to even sit on ServiceNow, does it? I mean, I would imagine.
Well, okay,
not.
So right. The thing is, like, our app, of course, just to be fair, our app does require ServiceNow. It won't work.
Okay.
It is only. I have so many people saying, "Hey, does it work on something other than I don't have ServiceNow? Does it work?"
Right.
No.
Okay.
It's right now, and maybe that's something that we do in the future. But Neil, I feel like right now there's so much for us to do on the ServiceNow platform. I don't want to dilute the effort here. Like, if we're pulling down like thousands of ServiceNow customers, then it's time to broaden. But we have a ways to go. We're gonna continue to just be a ServiceNow partner on that platform, exclusively on that platform. There's, we'll cross that bridge.
You're just getting me so excited.
All right, good.
I wanted to see it go everywhere.
I'd like to, but first step, we're not quite ready for that step. I've had a number of people saying you should put it on, Salesforce. You should put it, on Atlassian, Halo, name it. Just, you got a great concept. I'm like, Thank you. But this just gets us down. We have so much work to do. I don't want to become distracted. So right now, I'm just like horse blinkers, tunnel vision. Right now,
there's a tremendous amount of to be said for sticking with what you're doing well, continue to evolve it, right, and not getting distracted, because that can derail you, and you don't want to, especially where you're going right now.
Yeah,
I just asked the question because I didn't know, and I thought
it's a great question. It is a great question. It's been asked. Some people are like, I don't want to be like, I'm very much, I get target lock, man. That's my thing. I'm target lock. Some people are a butterfly, man. They're just, oh, look at it, there's a somehow when you can do both well, like target, and you're like, I can't lock the target and be the butterfly at the same time. So right now I'm focused on ServiceNow. And we have a lot of hay to make there. So I'm pretty focused.
And Ty, is it any industry specifics that you're going after that would be better for the app or anything within ServiceNow, of course, the platform, right? But are there certain industries that could benefit more from it, or that you're building new functionality to help with that are different than some other industries that are on the platform?
I've mentioned that we have been in regulated industries, and I named a couple of them, like energy sector, financial sector, healthcare. We are that, or in education as well. But like, I don't know how heavily regulated education is, frankly. But like, as an example, with our education customers, they are using us for onboarding and offboarding, the checklist, right? Hey, manager, the person's being offboarding. Did you collect the keys? Cancel the training? Debrief them? All cancel all classes, transfer the knowledge to somebody, all the checklist. That's a checklist. Hey, I want to bring in somebody in. Did you build the laptop? Did you move the furniture in? Did you, set up the desk, property team, amongst all these other teams, finance team, HR team, all this stuff. It's a platform tool. So it is really for, if you're building workflows, and there's activities in these workflows that groups of people are working on, and you're a process owner, this is your spot, and you own this part of the process. This is what the checklist is for. This is what we built it for, so that you, as the process owner, the activity within the workflow owner, you're not beholden to the development team to say, oh shoot, here's our new process, and okay, I'm going to stand in line while the development team comes and just changes our task wording and to identify exactly what it is that I see I needed to do it. You do it. Your Checklist Pro frees you from that. So you can just, you're in charge. The development team likes that too, because they don't want to be, okay, exactly what words do you want here and this sort of thing. The other thing, honestly, that the checklist does, beyond the out of the box, you can create a task, put a description. It's just narrative style, like do this, that, and the other. And you can put numbers and make it look like a bulleted list. But like, the task could stay open for a while, and it might be partially complete. But how do you know what you've done? You don't. Right. So that's what's perfect about the checklist. It does add some level of structure. It reduces the technical skill needed to manage that structure. If you can build a bulleted list in Word, you can build a checklist, because we got the tool to convert from that into our internal format. And then the task can stay open for a long time with your checklist. But it becomes, I call it intra-task transparency. You can start to see as items get done in your list. It's like, it's there. It's your, it's your visibility into things that would otherwise be like, I don't know, the task is still open. It's been open for 3 days. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, look, that is where so much gets lost. We know that everywhere, right? The task is open. What's still open inside the task to close the task, right?
Yeah.
Or what the full status is of the checklist itself. So that's great. And I can tell you, onboarding is a great, just one simple application that almost everyone uses. It's important. Onboarding is and offboarding is very important, right? Because when you bring on new employees, let's just say, and you're onboarding them, you want to make sure they have a good experience. Right. That's a really good thing, right? And there's a lot of moving parts to make sure that they've got all the things they need, all the access, the tools, the whole thing. And the same thing when you offboard, because you want to make sure it's all cut off and it's all recovered. So that's a simple one, right?
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Neil, just to play on this, because you're all over it, which is, okay, I always, I think a lot of us, we think of onboarding and offboarding is for people, but what about like your IT asset, onboarding and offboarding?
Yeah.
Hey, we got a new, laptop just arrived at the warehouse. Did you scan it to bring it in? Is it, did you prep it? There's that whole, like, is it a recycle? Is it a replacement for something that's aging out? Like there's different people involved. If let's say, hey, I need to bring on a new VM. There's a lot of little pieces in there with different groups. Did you get it through the cab? Did you get your, data store in place? Did you, what data center is it? All this stuff.
Yep.
And man, I tell
100%.
you, I'm in love with the checklist because it's literally such a platform tool. It's a utility. I mean, it's there for people to use. That's why I love it when our customers, when they tell me about some of the ways that they're using it, I'm like, gosh, that's beautiful. I love hearing these stories. I do.
I love the checklist too. That's great.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's just, I dream about this stuff, but it's like, it's nuts. That's a problem, I guess. But hey, that's my problem.
So Ty, for someone who's listening and either struggling with process, consistency in ServiceNow, or an aspiring entrepreneur looking to build a product within a larger ecosystem, what one piece of advice would you offer them based on your experience?
Yeah, one thing that I believe is, I just went deep in this area. Like I became very passionate about this. I mean, people will be like, hey, I'm walking around the shows. Hey, Mr. Checklist Pro, like you kind of become known for this. I don't want to be like a one-trick pony. I mean, obviously I've been on the platform for a long time. I have a lot of skills across the platform from just services, general professional services. But my advice for people that are maybe have an idea to do something, you have to also think about what worked for me that wasn't, necessarily obvious was I didn't just go all in on the app, right? I was doing two things, and I still am doing two things. I had skill with ServiceNow, and that skill was in demand. I hired myself out, and then I started to build a team because I had trusted people that I knew the community. I was in with the other developers, and I could say, hey, I'm working in my niche, U.S. federal. I'm in the D.C. metro area. It was natural. So it was like, that was helping organically fund something. But my real passion was for this app. And so it's sort of like, I just didn't go all in on the app, and I didn't ever took on any debt. I know we've completely grown organically. I think that's the way to go. I mean, I'm a little bit conservative in that sense. We're not taking the loans, and we didn't have all these outside investors come in, and maybe I should, and I'm open to these things now. We are starting to grow. We're growing in areas that we have never done before. Like we're bringing on marketing people, and to help with the messaging and sales and things like that. So that's before we're a development shop, small, lean, boom. But it's true. You can build something great, and we have this thing after so many years. We celebrated our 7-year birthday in the spring with the app in the store. It's super mature, and it's always going to keep getting better because that's just my happy place. But it's really about messaging. And so that's not something that I personally am, gifted at. Like, so I need the advice of real professionals in that lane. And this is why, we started before we got on the air. I was like, hey, I'm going to start doing these podcasts too. So, a little shout out. We're going to be doing something called the workflow report coming out soon. We're going to start, meeting. We're, probably like you're doing, you're getting your folks to, meet from the industry, and we'll have some questions. And it's not about Checklist Pro. It's just about it's about, getting it or, become well known. And just having conversations, a good voice out there in the industry that's been around for a while, and just slowly grow that way. It's not something that I would have concocted myself, but like, hey, that's just right. I'm trusting my experts here. So
there you go. That's great. So Ty, that's great advice. Right, and everyone's going to do it differently, but what works for you, and you advise people on that, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to say, thank you for joining me today. It's been a really, really great session. You could tell I'm as pumped as you are.
All right.
And
Thank you.
That's great. So before we go, why don't you just let everyone know where they can reach you and how to get in touch with you? That would be great. And anything else you want to share?
I love it. So thank you. Checklistproapp.com is our website. You can find all about Checklist Pro there. We've got, customer testimonials. We've got blogs. We got, why customers are choosing us. And we try to get right to it. That's the place to go. I'm on LinkedIn, Ty Roach on LinkedIn. You can look for me there. Tiger LLC, Checklist Pro LLC, both those companies are there on LinkedIn as well. That's where to go. And, if you can, from the website even, you can request a meeting, get a demo, get a free trial, kick the tires on it on your own instance, and we'll get you started and work with you, understand what you're trying to do, and help you get there with our tool.
That's great. Thanks again, Ty. Really, really wonderful.
Thank you, Neil.
I just want to say, thank you to the audience for listening today. Hope you enjoyed. This is Neil Fishler, Scale Solutions Podcast, the CRO Solution, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for coming.